God. I haven't laughed this hard at a horror movie since The fucking Front Room. And there were people literally shitting in that one. Welcome back, and once again, thank you for trusting me with your full spoiler movie reviews. That thing I do where I watch movies and then I tell you all about them. As always, I'm unpaid and unsponsored, and spoilers, all the spoilers. If you don't want spoilers, you can go and scroll. I won't be offended. Spoilers. Okay, here we go. This is the 2025 film Weapons, where for some odd reason, everybody needs to Naruto run. What the fuck was that about? I don't know. Are there going to be any questions answered in this film? Mostly not. But anyways, let's get into it. So as the commercial states, one morning at 2:17 a.m., 17 children arise from their beds, walk out of their house, and never come back. Or at least, that's what the commercial said. But apparently, there was one boy that didn't go missing. His name is Alex. And the entire community blames the teacher. Now here's the questions I already have. Half of the homes in this movie had fucking, security cameras, all types of them, Ring doorbells, things like that. But did nobody have an ADT system where if you open the door, it's gonna go rah, rah, rah? Did they not have a single parent working the fucking graveyard shift? Or maybe one with insomnia? Do they not have parents who wait till really fucking late at night to do the dirty and hear someone get the fuck up? Was literally nobody getting up to eat a donut. But whatever, anyway. So eventually they have to reopen the school and the other kids return, although I don't know if I would send my kid back to this while they're still in open investigation. And the school is continuing to let the teacher stay because they don't see a reason in not letting her be there, even though now she has no class. They tried to give her a sabbatical, but she's like, no, I need to teach. Your kids are missing. Who the fuck are you going to teach? But anyway, she leaves the school. She goes and buys 2 big-ass bottles of vodka. Goes home to pour herself a drink. There's some banging on her door. There's nobody there. But somebody took some red paint and wrote witch on her fucking car. The next day she goes to get it looked at and she waves at a police officer. And then later in the day we see her at a bar having another drink. By the way, she's an alcoholic. She's had a DUI in the past. And the cop she waved at earlier comes in and he's not drinking but somehow ends up in her bed the next day after they have sex. And then she starts following the one singular boy that was left in her class home because she wants to talk to him, even though she was explicitly told not to. Because, she already looks suspicious. But she keeps going into his yard and looking in windows and all this other stuff. And then, she looks in a window one day and his parents are just sitting on a couch, in the fucking dark. No lights on. There's newspapers on the windows. It's really fucking weird. So she calls her boss and he's like, I done told you not to fucking do it. They're going to arrest you for being fucking weird. So she decides to stake out in front of the house and she falls asleep because she was drinking vodka out of a 7-Eleven cup. Then the door opens and this fucking woman, Naruto, runs out holding something sharp and you think it's going to be a knife. She runs all the way to the door of the woman's car and just kind of looks in and you think she's going to stab her. But she doesn't. She gets in the back seat and then you think she's going to slice her throat, but she doesn't. She cuts off a piece of her hair. But then we're going to move over to Archer, who's one of the dads from one of the kids. He's some kind of contractor. He's got a lot of contracting and landscaping and surveying equipment. That'll come in later. But he keeps watching back and forth where his kid runs away. And he starts trying to, I guess, mark where exactly he was planning on going. And he does the same thing with another one of the classmates. He's going through trying to see where the hell she was running. And then he pulls up a map and it looks like the paths of both the kids intersect. So he's trying to figure out where they are. And in the meantime, he's also following the teacher around, trying to figure out what the fuck. He tracks her down at a gas station where she's trying to pump gas. And then her boss comes Naruto running all fucked up in the face, trying to attack her. And they're all fighting in the gas station parking lot. Then they run inside the building where he's still trying to kill her. And instead of calling the police, the cashier was like, get the fuck out. So everybody's taking off down the street. So then we go to the viewpoint of the cop that the teacher's been fucking. Well, apparently he's married and his father-in-law is the chief of police. Well, he's been having an affair with the teacher. Well, one day he's driving around and he sees a tweaker trying to enter a building, so he chases him down. And he goes to pat him down and he's like, you got anything that'll poke me? And the tweaker guy, who looks like Jay from Jay and Silent Bob, so I'm going to call him Jay. Jay's like, no. And then the cop goes to pat down his pockets, come to find out he has needles in his pocket and he got poked. And he got so mad that he punched Jay, and it caught it on his dashboard can, and he got freaked out. So he let Jay go on the premises that he never wants to see Jay around again. And then he had to go tell his father-in-law so that they could hide it. Well, he goes to leave the precinct, and voila, there's Jay again, who takes off fucking running. And then the cop looks like he's trying to chase him to kill him. Now we're at the viewpoint of Jay the Tweaker. No, we have not solved the fucking children yet. They're still missing somewhere. Now, all of this has happened within the 30 days of the missing children, okay? People who should be worried about these kids are doing everything but. They're going to bars, they're fucking, but whatever. Anyway, so we're at the viewpoint of a tweaker. He lives in the woods. He steals shit for monies. Then there was the whole run-in with the cop, which, by the way, a lot of these stories overlap. It's just like different viewpoints of the same actions. But anyway, he sees the cop starts chasing him. He runs back into the woods where he's living. He sees a lady with red hair just like out in the middle of nowhere fucking waving at him, and it freaks him out, so he runs and hides in his tent. And he can hear someone trying to open the fucking tent, so he grabs a bunch of fucking used needles. And then when the tent zips open, he fucking stabs the cop again. And he thinks he's going to jail, but he's like, I know where those kids are! Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you the important part. So when he was going out and robbing shit, he decided out of nowhere, he was just gonna, like, rob this one fucking house. Presumably, I think maybe he thought that the house was abandoned, even though there was, like, a car in the driveway. Because there was, like, newspapers on the windows. But, like, why would you take the chance? Anyway, he went into the house to steal shit so that he could get money for drugs. Well, the parents are still on the couch, but they're, like, basically catatonic. They do not respond, so he's like, what the fuck ever. And then he was gonna go into the basement to steal things, and then a bunch of children look up at him all creepily, and he's like, oh shit. But he takes his ill-gotten gains over to the pawn shop, where he sees a sign that says missing reward $50,000 for all those kids. Now we can get back to the cop, and he's like, I can show you where they are. So the cop drives over to the house and leaves Jay in the back seat, and obviously it's a fucking cop car, so we can't do anything. And he's there for hours and hours and hours, and finally the cop comes out, and he does the weird Naruto run to the cop car, where he fucking drags Jay out and back into the house. Now we're in I think it's the boss's point of view. There's a lot of points of view here. Anyway, the boss is actually the principal of the school who wants to have a meeting with Alex, the one living little boy's teacher, or dad. But then the lady with the orange hair showed up out of nowhere, and supposedly that's like his great aunt who's taking care of him because his parents are quote unquote sick. And the principal was like, no, you're not a legal guardian, bye. And then he goes home to spend time with his husband, and then there's a knock at the door, and it's the crazy redheaded lady again. And she's like, I walked all the way over here, can I have a glass of water? And the husband was like, yeah. Anyway, then she pulls out a stick that has like his ribbons wrapped around it, and then she wraps a piece of hair around it. I don't know. It causes the principal to attack his husband and murder him with, like, his forehead. Like, he just fucking headbutts him until his head caves in. And then he tries to go after the teacher lady and gets hit by a car, and his brain becomes chopped meat on the asphalt. But now we're on to the important part, which is Alex, the little boy. His parents in his home life were happy until Aunt Gladys, who's like his great aunt or whatever, is really sick and coming to live with them. Aunt Gladys brought some kind of magic tree where if you prick your finger with the branch, you can make people kill each other or whatever. She used it on his parents. Why, I don't know. All she tells him is that she's sick, and she thought she could use his parents to help, but they didn't. And now he has to gather up belongings of all his classmates so that she can get better. So he takes the little name tags off their, like, little cubbies, and she makes a potion out of it. And now the children live in the basement, and Alex has to feed everybody soup. And then one day she's like, we're leaving. Pack your shit. Don't step over the salt. Were they going to take the others? I don't fucking know. What was her actual plan? I don't know. Did she get better? I don't fucking know. Anyways, Daddy and the teacher shows up. There's big brawls. Kiddo steals a branch and kills the witch ant lady. Anybody who is under the spell is basically catatonic. Little boy went to live with a different aunt, and apparently that one's nice. His parents now live in a home, and some of the kids relearn their ability to talk. But I told you this was batshit crazy. Oh, and there was a floating gun in the sky for no reason. None. What the hell do I do with this? Why did I pay $11 out of 10? Oh shit, I forgot the best part. The way she died. The little sticky turned the kids against her, and they ate her like the Green Inferno.